Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Shin Kim. This is the class of Christian Apologetic. Through the first class actually, I'm dealing with how can we prove that God exists, or how can we prove that the Bible is true. Uh, Through today's actually class, I'm going to explain about the existence of God or God's plan through the biology. Uh, I'm not scientist, frankly speaking. Okay, so I'm not expert in biology. Maybe some of you better than me. Okay, if your major is biology, maybe you know better. Okay, yeah, you are human. Definitely, you are human being. Yeah, I am human. You are human. You are human. And a long time ago, even Leonardo da Vinci drawing the human body, and by the development of the medical science, actually all human being actually describe. We can take a picture, or we can figure it out. Okay, human being actually, as you see, the whole body is sustained by the bone. Okay, bone is the some kinds of structure of the body. Okay, it sustain our body, and in there are so many actually organs. Okay, including from our mouth, actually stomach, liver, and I actually some part I don't know, but you may actually figure it out how the human body is so complex. Okay, even yeah, human has a lot of also muscle. Okay, so you exercise, you increase you make more muscle through the exercise. This is a human being, and also in the head we have brain. Brain has more complex actually structure than we can imagine. Okay, it is extremely hard, especially the part of the brain. Even the medical scientists actually they cannot figure it out. How what part actually what kinds of system actually the brain is composed over. Okay, so this is we. Okay, this is we, human being. And maybe from your childhood or a teenager, maybe you may have some question about where did I come from? Yeah, I also raise a question about me. Okay, where am I coming from? Maybe from my parents, and my parents coming from my grandparents, and my grandparents actually coming from the ancestor. And so what else? Okay. That's actually one of my actually philosophical question when I was a teenager also. So just now, it seems like there are three big actually theory about your origin, human origin. Number one is human has developed over millions of years from less advanced form of life, but God had no part in this process. That means evolution. Okay, evolution. Human being advanced over life from very tiny small cell. Okay, so from that small tiny cell, finally several millions of years later, human being actually was formed. So that's the actually, according to the Darwin evolution theory, actually human being is the result of evolution. And the number two is the almost same, but human has developed over millions of years from less advanced form of life. But God guided this process. Number one is actually Darwin evolution theory. Number two is some kinds of God's creation. But human history has a long time, maybe a minimum half millions. And but this is creation theory. Okay. Uh, Biggest actually there is two biggest creation theory. Number one is long earth theory. So number two is God guide this process, long process, millions of history. Okay, millions of years human has been formed. So but God actually guided this process. That is called actually old earth theory. Number three is actually young earth theory. God created humans in the present form around 10,000 years ago. So Adam and Eve is the first person, and human history is around 6,000 years. Okay, so that is called young earth theory. So mainly, yeah, these three theory is one of the best theory among explaining about the origin of a human being. And according to the 2010 survey, 54% of Americans believe mankind evolved from primate. Primate means some kind of monkey or some kind of a cell. Okay, so number one, number two. Okay, number one, number two is majority. So, but only the conservative Christians actually they accepting number three. God created the human around 10,000 years ago. So this is actually the one kind of experience about the origin about the human being. And according to the Darwinism, actually all species emerged from a common ancestor through the process of random mutation and the natural selection. Many of you heard of the mutation. Okay, there is some kind of a change in our DNA, and we turn to the other species. That's called random mutation. And the natural selection is that among many living things, only the one species accustomed to fit onto the natural environment. They could survive, but others are disappear. They're called actually natural selection. So usually the evolution is gradualism. So look at the picture. Yeah, the guy who sent me the paper is with the head is Darwin, and Darwin explanation from monkey finally become the human being. This is Darwinism or evolution. Do you believe that the origin of the human being is monkey or God's creation? It's maybe up to you, your choice. Okay, you can choose either one. Okay, you can choose either one. But through this class, actually, one of my question is that Darwinism is one of a scientific fact, or this is only imaginary theory. Which one? There are, according to the biologists, there are two kinds of evolution. Number one is microevolution. This means they are changing within a species. Number two is macroevolution. New species emerge due to random mutation and the natural selection. Look at the picture. So maybe you can figure it out. Okay, you can figure it out. According to the microevolution, it looks like they are wolf, maybe dog, wild dog, or fox. It looks like they are looks like a family. Okay, wolf, fox, dog, wild dog, and finally dog. It looks like all of them has a forehead and head and a little bit long ear and sharp actually toes. Looks like similar. Okay, so they called the species. Okay, same species. Okay, same species. And but as soon as you made the left side picture, you may recognize it. Okay, small cell and more multiple cell and some kinds of old bug and evolved to the fish evolved to the crocodile become the some kinds of animals, and the animals become the human being. So in the microevolution, every actually kinds of animals belong to the same species. But as soon as you see the macroevolution, it is totally different. Okay, fish and animals with a dog. One example, fish and dog is a totally different species. As you know, the dog cannot breathe under the water. And the fish, as soon as they come out of the water, they're gonna die soon. Okay, so this is totally different. Bug and human being is a totally different species. So according to the evolution scientists, there are two kinds of evolution as we see this kinds of a picture. Okay, and as I said, the evolution theory is some kinds of gradualism. That means it takes a lot of time. Okay, a lot of time. So that's why change over time. So can evolution theory be replicated? It can be repeated. Usually, many biologists agree that no, It's impossible. The theory needs hundreds of billion or hundreds of millions of years to support this claim. So, do you, in your thinking, from the monkey evolved to the human being, do you, in your thinking, how many years it takes? Guess about it. Guess. Maybe next screen, maybe I will little bit explain about this one. Maybe from the monkey to the human being, it takes more than 1 million years, okay? 1 million years. Or 2 million years, okay? It takes a long time. Human being life is not just now around 70 or 80 years old. Maybe long life is 100 years old. But from the monkey to the human being, it takes the minimum 1 million years, okay? So that's why it is almost impossible to repeat it again. So things began to change according to the time. So thousand of generation. So through the 1 million years, how many generations can you guess? Okay, and when so even though I am explaining about the evolution theory, one of my question is that through the previous actually screen, we already see the macroevolution from a dog to the human being. So my question is that when a dog turns into a horse, or a horse turns into the human, how long it takes? Million years, 2 million years. So even the left side is totally monkey, okay, almost four legs, but the right side is human being, and there is several kinds of species, okay, and the problem, one of the lack of point, okay, one of the weakness of evolution theory is that we know the monkey, we know the human being, but there is a fourth step, okay, little bit taller monkey. And the middle one is looks like between the monkey and human, and number 4 is looks like Homo sapiens, and the 5th is looks like Homo sapiens. Okay, so in the modern day, can we figure out there is Homo erectus, Homo sapiens, etc. Can we found them? Can you find around you? Is there any intermediate species? Because, as we said, according to Darwin, from monkey to the human being, okay, it evolved. So when the monkey in the zoo become the human being, and why we cannot see any intermediate species? So that's actually, even though, we studying about the evolution theory, that's the weakness of the theory, okay? And usually Homo erectus. So look at the above picture. Upper picture, there is Homo sapiens, okay? Long time ago, Australopithecus. Maybe through the world history, you don't know about this one, okay? Even I can remember. That's why, even though it has extremely hard pronunciation, but I can figure it out. Australopithecus. Even I try to remember it, memorize it for the test. And later is Homo habilis and Homo erectus and Homo neanderthals, and finally Homo sapiens and sapiens, human being. So there are several levels of the evolution, okay? So the below actually picture is one of the drawing of the Homo erectus, okay? So Homo erectus is the around between the man, just the modern man, between the modern man and the Homo erectus, there are around 400 years 1,000 years gap, okay? Almost half a million. It takes a half a million from Homo erectus to become the human being. So, long time ago, Homo erectus is a small ape, okay? Comparing to human, this is the size of a human chest, okay? Human chest. And it seems like it didn't make a tool. actually using the tool, but it didn't make. Just going around, you see the broken tree, and from the tree you take it out and you made some rod. Okay, that's actually the way of Homo erectus to survive. And still, my question is that can a monkey be trusted to arrive at truth? So, in your thinking, that do you really believe that from Australopithecus to become a human being, it takes the more than maybe million years? And my another question, previous question, almost same thing. Do you see any Homo erectus? Because all the monkeys has been evolved, and some people belong to Homo sapiens, but some people belong to the Homo neanderthals, but some people actually Homo erectus. Some people belong to the Australopithecus. But do you see any Australopithecus speak? Or do you find any species between Australopithecus and Homo sapiens? So it seems like there is a lack of explanation. Even though we still learn about evolution theory as a scientific fact through the biology class, okay? We learn about it. And many scientific facts actually talking about this is true. Evolution theory is a scientific fact. Many scientists claim that. But even they claim it, but still it is called evolution theory, okay? Not the 100% theory, okay? So still the question is that to the end, human being evolved to what kinds of form? We're gonna evolve to be an ET? I don't know. Unfortunately, yeah, there is no also evidence any species from a four-legged small animal to become elephant. Do you see any animal between the dog and the elephant? Do you see any evidence that any evolution from the snake to dog? Anybody has that kind of scientific truth, scientific evidence? I'm not sure about it. Okay, I'm not sure about it. So according to the human evolution, especially based on the mega evolution, look at the picture. Homo sapiens, we are human, Homo sapiens. Previously, Homo erectus. More previously, Roboticus. More previously, T-form. And reptile. And amphibia. Some kinds of between the fishy and reptile, okay? And long-finned. It looks like fishy. And Crodaca, it seems like plankton, okay? Very extremely tiny, small sea animals. And unicellular, multi-cell, some kinds of animals. And finally, single cell. But my question is that single cell, where single cell coming from? Mostly it's talking about some kinds of atom, some kinds of soil. Soil is lifeless, as we see. There is no life in the soil, okay? So more question is that where soil is coming from. So we kept asking about our originality, okay? Originality. But according to the evolution theory, actually we coming from the monkey, but previously we coming from the reptile, and we coming from the fishy, and we coming from multi-cell, and finally we coming from single cell. So in your thinking, from the single cell to the human being, to become the human being, how long it takes? Billion years? 100 billion years? We don't know about it, okay? We don't know about it. But more originally, where single cell coming from? This is one of the difficult question, okay? Difficult question. So if you look at the your soil and when it coming turn to the single cell, because the scientists actually they claim that the evolution theory is correct. That's why. How long it takes? So is it really believable? I'm not sure. I'm not sure about it. There is so many actually miss the actually link. Okay, miss the link, and it cannot be explained totally. And okay, we coming from cell. Okay, look at the cell. Oh my God, it is extremely complex. Okay, so as soon as we see the cell, the structure of the cell, it is extremely complexity. Okay, complexity, extremely complex structure. So cell formation would be distinguishable from a miracle. So from H2O, suddenly there is a cell. So how can H2O turn into the cell? So it seems like a miracle, okay? Miracle. Where, as I said, where did this one cell coming from originally? From water? From soil? From what? Finally, there is a long time ago, there is a living thing called the cell. But my question is that where did the cell coming from? From just the dust? It automatically, the dust suddenly become the cell? Do you believe that? So the single cell is as complex as a modern city. Okay, we living in the city. We have building, we have a car, we have a highway, and etc. Okay, even when you see the city of the Los Angeles, we know that that Los Angeles is established by the human. Okay, but it seems like even tiny, invisible one cell is almost the same complexity with the city. Okay, so it seems like no theory available for the origin of life according to the evolution theory. So another my question is that can a scientist make a cell in the laboratory? So from in the laboratory, you're getting the soil, you're getting the water, you're getting the oxygen, you getting other stuff, and from that stuff, can you make the cell by yourself? Is that possible? So even though it's a long time ago, yeah, when I learned the biology, some actually vocabulary is familiar to me. Cytoplasm. Maybe I try to memorize it because it is the test question. And the mitochondria, maybe some of you familiar to this kinds of cell structure, but isn't it beautiful? Isn't it so complex? So even though the human being can make the computer, and when you open the computer, and you may see a complexity of the computer, and as soon as you recognize that my computer is made by Dell, made by HP, yeah, made by the ThinkPad, because computer is extremely complex one. But what do you feel about the when you see the animal cell? It is extremely complex one. So human being is composed of the cell, okay? Billions of cells. Human body actually is composed of a tiny structure called cell, but even cell is a complex one. Among them, if one small thing is missed, we cannot survive. We got disease and we gonna die. Okay, so whenever I see these kinds of cell, I feel some beauty actually. And moreover, even though I'm not biologist, but there is argument of specified complexity dealing with the DNA. Okay, nature and life contain imprints of intelligent cause of such as DNA. Look at the DNA structure. And yeah, long time ago, yeah, around more than 30 years ago, I also tried to memorize this kind of a structure. But I almost just now I'm almost forget about it. AT, GC, THC, hydrogen bond, nucleotide. So human actually has a gene, okay, gene, DNA actually. So as soon as the baby was born, and the baby is your true children, maybe there is 99.9% actually same actually structure of the DNA. So according to the DNA, we figure out who he is, okay, who she is, and we are family or not, according to the DNA test, okay. So actually, yeah, life is encoded with the information called DNA. These kinds of billions of DNA in our body, and it is a huge amount, okay, huge amount. Among them, only one missed one, actually, one difference make a totally different person, okay. So this kind of a structure actually is composed of the DNA, and this is some kind of a chemical one, and I feel also my whole body is looks like in code, okay. So the DNA sequence is called genome. Yeah, this is encoding, okay, computer. Do you figure it out? Even you are using the actually PDF, we are using the Word, we are using the PowerPoint, sometimes we are using some kind of game program. All of them actually is composed of the coding, okay, coding. This is called coding according to the computer science, okay. So in order to make an even small tiny game, they need a lot of so many actually coding. So previously actually I published one electronic book. At the time I'm using this kinds of coding. So some coding is familiar to me, but some coding is not familiar to me. So with millions of billions of coding, finally one game is made, okay. Game, you love the game, okay. You are doing game through the computer or you use cell phone, okay. So we are doing that. So but that kinds of game is composed of this kinds of coding. So do you believe that Microsoft Word is automatically evolved from by miracle accident? Maybe no one believe that. Microword, according to Bill Gates, with many scientists, computer science, they actually made it according to so many actually coding, okay. As a result, we are using the Word program. Exactly, our human body is encoded with the DNA, okay, genome. So our human body is encoded. So billions of DNA, okay. So yeah, I cannot explain about this one. I'm not biologist, but these kinds of tiny chemical structure composed of the DNA, and the DNA is in our body so many billions of DNA information in our body, and that called encode. It is exactly the same coding in the computer. They're using the vocabulary coding, okay. According to the coding, they made some program, and our human body is also encoded by this kind of chemical structure and the chemical sequence, and among them one missed line actually bring a lot of disease, and we cannot survive. So even our whole body also so many hormones, okay, hormones. Through the biology class, maybe many of you learn about this one. So even though we have organs, but in the organ there is some kind of hormone, and the woman's hormone and the male hormone is totally different, and especially one of the hormones called estrogen. This is the estrogen molecule. Look at this one. Look at right side one. There is a 6-side structure and connected to each other. So if we missed one cycle, we don't have any estrogen. But for the woman, actually has a role as a woman. Actually, it need estrogen, but estrogen is extremely complex structure. And as you see this kind of structure, do you think that suddenly C, H, O, oxygen, hydrogen, carbon, suddenly they mix together, make this kind of structure by mutation, by miracle? Do you believe that? I don't think so. It seems like someone made this kind of beautiful structure of estrogen. That's my interpretation. How do you think about it? Okay, how do you think about it? So through this class, I try to show so many scientific evidence that human structure has more complexity, and our body is encoded by some chemical structure, especially DNA, and also including the hormone. And DNA is 3 billion DNA bases of human body, 3 billion kinds of bases, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, phosphorus, and it has a structure, this kind of a structure. So even single structure is composed of one small unit of the DNA, and this kinds of structures, more than 3 billion structures, DNA structures in our body. Wow, this is extremely beautiful. Maybe with the ball and small chopstick, maybe you can make this kind of a structure. Okay, what do you feel? Do you think that the one day hydrogen and oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, phosphorus suddenly mixed, and by mutation suddenly it has this kind of a structure? Do you believe that? It would take a person typing 60 words per minute, and 8 hours a day, around 50 years to typing human genome. Because the human body has the 3 billion DNA bases. So if you are typist, you are typing 8 hours every day, and it takes 50 years to describe the whole structure of human DNA. Okay, it takes a long time, and it is almost 1,000 volume of encyclopedia. So usually Britannica encyclopedia, maybe 100 volume, but it is exactly 10 times more than Britannica encyclopedia, our human DNA structure. Okay, so according to the scientists, actually Neanderthal, it is called the pre-ancestor. Neanderthals is not linked to mankind's basis on DNA test. So we are doing the DNA test. Okay, so Neanderthal human DNA, and they investigate there is any connection, but according to the biologist, their conclusion is that there is no link. What does it mean there is no link? That means there is no evidence from Neanderthal become a human being, because according to the DNA test. So more the scientists, biologists discovered about the DNA structure. They figured out there is no connection from monkey to the human being. So that's actually one of the conclusion. So through this class, even though I'm not biologist, and but based on the complexity of the cell and the DNA structure, and there is no link, there is no lineup between the monkey and the human being. That's actually scientists talking about. So can change in the DNA sequence bring about new species? The answer is no. Even though they try to change the structure of the DNA, actually there is no new species. So the difference at the chemical base level are still in millions. Even though I'm reading it, I didn't answer the question, but according to the biologist, they answer this one, okay? So if they change it a little bit, 3 billions of sequence of DNA, okay? Among them, change 1 or 2 can make another species. According to the biologist, their answer is no. Even though they change the billions of sequence, impossible. Make one species to become another species, that's impossible. Even though change the DNA structure. So according to the biologist, this is not my evidence, okay? This is a biologist evidence. DNA is zebrafish. Zebrafish, you may see fish, okay? It looks like a beautiful rainbow color, okay? DNA in zebrafish 92% similar to monkey. So you, yeah, monkey is just smiling at you. Hey, I evolved from that fish. Is it talking about that? But even though there is the DNA test and the zebrafish and the monkey, 92% similarity, but we never see them swimming together. Okay, zebrafish and monkey, 92% similarity between their DNA. Only 8% difference between the zebrafish and the monkey, but it seems like a totally different species. So do you believe that that fish become the monkey? I don't know. But according to the Darwinism and the evolution theory, they insist that, hey, that zebrafish to become monkey. Do you believe that? I don't know. So from the biologist from the maybe elementary school, you may heard that. Which one is first? Chicken or egg? Egg is first or chicken is first? They are arguing. It's even in modern day, we are arguing about which one is the first one. And which come first, the chicken or the egg. Even turtle, actually they bear the egg, lizard egg, snake also bearing the egg, crocodiles also coming from the egg, bird egg, okay? Everything has egg, okay? Egg. So, egg is first or chicken is first? What do you think about it? Even biologists, they cannot answer that question. It's impossible. And do you think that animal and the humans, there is more similarity or more differences? So as we know, one of the example is language. So human using the language, animal also using the language, but animal language is usually is innate. That means they are instinct, they communicate. But how about human being? We learn the language, okay? So that's one of the biggest difference between the monkey and the human, okay? So etc., okay, except the language problem, we have a lot of also difference between the monkey and the human being. So only limited to the language, actually animal language is a sign of animal language, innate, born, okay, instinct. And the sad response of stimuli like hunger, anger, pain. And one particular sign represents one particular meaning. But as we see, the human language is inborn capacity to learn language, but signs themselves are acquired culturally. So that's why we learn about A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, we learn about that. Without learning, actually, we cannot speak. Okay, we cannot write down. We cannot read. We should learn about this one. But also not limited to index, same stimuli can be communicated in numerous ways. Even we are hungry. Animals, when hungry, lion is hungry, they start hunting. But how about human? Yeah, we also start hunting. Or we catch fish. Or we go to the store. Or you may say to your mom, Mom, I'm hungry. Maybe your mom going to cook for you, okay? So there are extremely huge actually difference between the human being and the monkey. And the humans immortal. So they think beyond the grave. So they thinking about the eternity. So immortal means eternity. So that's why even though the animals, they never take their any religion, but human being from a long time ago, human being has the religion. What is religion? Religion is usually dealing about the after the life after death. Okay. Also consciousness. Humans are consciousness. We are reflect, aware of surrounding, past, present, and future. So we learn about the history. That's the past, present. We have economical problem, political problem, racial problem, and we wanted to buy the car and home. That's the present. Now we worry about our future and about what about the global warming, and during this winter more raining. Okay. And we can expect the global, because of a global warming, more rain coming down, and during the summer more hotter, winter is more colder. We worry about future, and we are logical. We think rationally. Humans are moral. We know that what is right, what is wrong. Animals actually murder each other. They kill other animals because they are hungry. Okay. So lions are eating deer, but do you think that lion feel guilty about because of this one? I don't think so. That's their basic instincts. But how about human being? When you murder somebody by accidentally, do you feel guilty? Yes, of course. Human being actually has morality and beauty. Humans recognize the beauty, which one is more beauty, perceive and appreciate beauty. So even long time ago, people living in the cave, they drawing the picture above side. Okay, they are drawing the looks like a horse and other animals. They start art, human doing the art. Okay, and human being drawing, singing, and sometimes the writing, also making the movie, because we are artist person, and the human beings are also creative. So long time ago we live in the cave, and a little bit later we make the house from the wood, and finally we make the house from the brick, and maybe now through the print we can make the house also. That's why people are creative. So do you still there is no difference between the human and the animals? How about you? Animals, and human is human, I think. My dog never understand my thinking. Maybe they little bit recognize my feeling, but I cannot communicate with dog. Okay, so there is a big actually difference human and animals. One of my last actually evidence that there is a spiritual world and there is God is a spirit, is that sometimes by accidentally some photographer, they take the photo about this moment. Even though it is a little bit timid, look at the picture, left upper side, one person is lying on the bed in the hospital, and do you see red circle? There is some, looks like a foggy one coming out of the body, and that person died. But it looks like a death moment. In the death moment, the spirit left your body. According to the Bible, what is the definition of death? Death is the separation of the body and the spirit. As soon as the human spirit left the body, human died. So this is one of the real, not actually making up a picture. This is a real photographer. Okay, so look at another picture. Even though this is not clear, this is that there are several ambulances, and one people has the car accident, and suddenly something lifted up, some foggy one lifted up, and the people died. So where that kind of a spirit coming from also? Even dog has the spirit, monkey has the spirit. I'm not sure about it, but one of the evidence that human being has the spirit. And my another question is that where does actually that kinds of a spirit coming from? this is as a result of the evolution. I don't know. Anyway, through this class, I'm talking about where is God, and how can we prove God exists, and how can we prove that there is a spiritual world, and how can we prove that Christianity is correct, Christianity has truth, based on the biology. So our whole body is encoded as the computer program is coded. I believe that. And moreover, human being has the spirit. So that's the actually biological evidence that God exists and the Christianity is truth. Thanks to listen to my lecture and see you next time. Thank you.